Hello everyone, welcome to our YouTube channel Easy Explanation. In this video tutorial we'll be learning about default argument in C++. So what is default argument in a function or in a function call? So default argument is a value assigned to function parameters during its declaration. It means default arguments are nothing but value assigned to function parameters. Okay, so there are lots of disadvantages of using default argument in a function call. So we'll be learning about this thing by writing a program. So let us write a simple C++ code. For that I'll create a file called the test.cpp. C++ program to understand the concept of default argument. So let us do the require import. So has include IOStream using namespace std for cout and cin, and we'll write a function called as main int main and return 0. Let's write a simple function now. Let us say I have function something like this: int add int x comma int y, and this is a simple function that returns just the sum of two variables x and y. You can see x and y are the function parameter over here. Now we'll call this function from main something like this: cout sum is equals to add 10 comma 20 and okay. Now let's run this code. G++ dot slash a dot out. You can see the value of sum is now 30, right? As we have passed 10 to x and 20 to y, and it is returning 10 plus 20, which is 30. So the sum is 30 here. So we have not assigned any type of argument default values to this function parameter. Now to understand the concept of default argument, we need to assign some values to it, something like x is equals to -1 and y is equals to suppose -2. Now if I'll compile this code C++ and a dot out, we are still getting the sum as a 30. So we are calling this function add with two values 10 and 20. So you can see this default values -1 and -2 get overridden by this actual argument passed over here. The default values -1 and -2 of x and y are overridden by the default values 10 and 20, or by the value 10 and 20 that we are using to call this function. So always remember that actual argument that are passed have more preference or higher preference compared to the default argument that is used in the function call. So suppose if I'm using something like cout sum is equals to this, and if you are simply calling this function, and now if I'll compile this code and run it, you can see the sum is equals to -3 now. So if you are not passing any type of argument during the function call, it automatically uses the default arguments for the calculation. So since we are not passing any type of argument in a function call, so the value of x is equals to -1 and the value of y is equals to -2 will be used, and we got the value as a -3, which is the sum. Let's understand another concept like cout sum is equals to, let us call the same function add. I'm passing just a single value 10 and so what will be the result, what will be the output of this function call? We are we are calling this function by using just a single argument. In this case, we have two arguments required to make the function call. So what will be the case in such scenario? So you can see the sum is now -8. Means what happens is, like if you have two argument in a function call, and if you are just passing a single values while making a function call, then what happens is the first argument will be assigned with this values and second argument will be using its default value. So x will have the value of 10 and y is using the default value of -2, and by using this logic we are getting the value of sum is equals to 8. So in this way you can understand the concept of default argument. So if you are not, like if you have some default argument in a function call, and if you are calling the function without passing any argument, then by default it will be using its default argument for the calculation. Like if you have n number of argument, and if you are calling the function by using just if you have suppose 3 arguments, and if you are calling the function by using just 2 arguments, then the value will be assigned in left to right order. The value will be assigned in left to right order. Let us understand this concept by creating another function, something like double sum double x double y and double z, and let us say this function returns something like x plus y plus z. Now let us make a function call cout sum is equals to sum in del. Now if I'll compile and run this code, and then you can see, since this function sum is expecting the user to enter some argument while making the function call, see no matching function call for the function sum, so it throws the error. Now to avoid this, what we can do is you can assign some default argument to this parameters. So x equals to 10, y is equals to 20, and z is equals to 30. And if I'll compile this code again, we are not getting any error. So this is another advantages of using default argument in a function call. Then you can see we have get the sum as a 60. Now let us call the same function sum using another argument. Let us say 1, 2. So here the sum function is expecting us to enter or call this function by using 3 argument, but we are calling the function just by using these 2 argument. So what will be the output? Let us discuss that. You can see we have got the value of sum is equals to 33. So what happens in this case is, so like if you are passing limited number of argument, then the value will be assigned in left to right order. So x will be assigned with 1, y will be assigned with 2, and z will be using its default argument 30. So 1 plus 2 is 3, 30 plus 3 is 33. So you got the sum as a 33. So this is the concept of a default argument in a C++. So this is all about the default argument in a function call, how to use it in a function call in C++ programming language. Like if you have any question regarding this, please mention in the comment section. And now let us discuss some of the multiple choice question related to this default argument. So let us discuss some of the multiple choice questions related to default argument. So what is default argument in C++? An argument that is automatically assigned to default value, an argument that is required to be passed by caller, an argument that is used for error handling, an argument that is not allowed in a function declaration. So obviously the answer will be A, an argument that is automatically assigned a default value. Which section of a function declaration specifies the default argument? So what happened is, it is a parameter list. Now, how are default argument specified in a function declaration? Using default keyword, using optional keyword, by assigning a value directly to the parameter. So obviously the answer will be C, by assigning a value directly to its parameter. What is the typical uses of default argument? The typical uses of default argument is to provide initial values for function parameters. So answer will be A. When calling a function with default argument, which of the following is true? Default argument can be omitted for any parameter. Default argument can only be omitted for the last parameter. Default argument can only be omitted for the first parameter. Default argument must be provided for all the parameters. So the answer will be default argument can be omitted for any parameter. So let us understand this concept. When calling a function with default argument, which of the following is true? Default argument can be omitted for any parameter or not. So for that, let us say I have omitted default argument for x. Then what happen? What will happen over here? If I compile this code, you can see candidate function not viable require at least argument x. So you cannot omit the first. If you omit the last, so you cannot omit the last also in this case. First to 30. So answer for this will be default argument can be omitted for any parameters. Default argument, like while making the function call, we can omit the argument, something like this and this. Now what is the order of assigning default argument in a function call? So obviously the answer will be from left to right, that we have discussed over there. We have discussed, like if you are assigning, like it is expecting us to enter 3 argument while making the function call, we are providing only 2 argument. So the order of assignment will be from left to right. I think there is some mistake in this question, so I'll solve it in next slide, like what is the issue with this question, and I'll come with the solution for that. So thank you so much everyone. Like if you have any question or queries regarding default argument, please mention in the comment section. Thank you so much everyone, and please like, share and subscribe our channel, and please be updated for any new videos. Thank you so much.